Hey everyone, in this tutorial I want to show you a little bit about the AR marker scene capabilities, how to work with it, and then how to preview it. So to create a new AR marker scene, it's in preview mode right now, so that means we're still getting feedback on how to refine the feature, but go ahead and play around with it. So click this option on the left right here, and that will launch the editor for us. Notice we have a little marker preview for us that's set up just to guide us where to place objects. And then notice that in an AR marker scene, you don't have the sky or the ground because you're looking at the scene through the camera, so you don't need those two objects. So what I'm going to do is add just a simple 3D model. So I'll go to the poly option right here on the left, and I will search for city. Okay, I'll go ahead and click this city right here, the first option. It's downloading, as you can see. There's my city. I'm going to place it close to the marker, so around 0 is what we want to do. That's pretty good right there. I like how it's looking. That's pretty good default. And then I'll add another 3D model. Let's try a drone. And we'll just go ahead and choose one of the first ones right here. So it's downloading, as you can see. All right. Let's go ahead and scale that down way more. So I'll bring it down, scale it down so that it looks a little bit more like it's in scale with the city. Still pretty big, but that's fine. Something like that. Okay, cool. And now I'll add an action to this drone. So I'll go to prototype, add action, and I'll select when the scene is started. I want to change my position to 5 meters up over 3 seconds. I'm going to ease in and out of it. So ease in and out quad. And then I want to alternate so it goes back and forth. And then I'll repeat it forever. One thing to note is scene started actions do work with AR preview right now. However, click events do not. So if you want some button and then like a click event for it, that's currently not supported. Okay, so we're ready to go. We have a very basic scene. We could move the light up a little bit forward. So let's go to design. Let's bring it to 0. Let me just see if I have my light helpers right there. I'm going to bring it down. Okay, so now I want to just play around with a little bit of shadows. Note that shadows do hurt performance, so you have to be careful with them, but they also do add a lot of depth, so it's worth experimenting with. I'll go ahead and cast shadow from this light, so then we have a little bit more depth on the scene. Push it up a bit, like that. That's pretty good. Let's do it a little bit more dramatic. And then let's give it some color, so choose the color tile, make it a little bit warmer. That's pretty good right there. Okay, so now we're ready to preview our scene. So to preview the scene, we're going to go to the play button, click start preview. Notice that we have a marker shows up right there. We also have a URL below it. One thing to note that's really important is HTTPS. In order for the camera to work, it needs a secure connection, so it requires HTTPS. So if you ever export your scene to your own server, make sure that you enable HTTPS so that the scene can work. So now I'm going to go ahead and take it to the phone, and then we'll see how that works from there. Okay, so on the phone, I'm going to go ahead and launch the browser. And then I'll enter that URL. Again, make sure that you enter the HTTPS. PS colon and 192.168.43. Okay, I'll go ahead and load that. So now what you're going to see is a security message the first time you visit a preview of AR on Ottifox. This has to do with the HTTPS. So basically, Ottifox creates a local preview server on your machine, and then it has to create a certificate in order for the camera to work, so that to get that HTTPS. So locally, it cannot validate that certificate because it's created on the spot. So you have to click the advance button and then click proceed right there. So that's all about local preview. Again, if you upload this to your site, this will never come up because you have your own public certificate, so that wouldn't be a problem. So I'll go ahead and click the proceed button. That should load the page for me, and then a notification should come up to allow the camera to have access, so you would want to allow that. Now I'll click the start button, so then I see my scene right there. It goes into full screen. Now, since the marker is exported for flat-based markers, we set that up as the default. However, on the screen, the marker is actually sideways, so we want to press that top right button right there So then we have a little bit better perspective, and then I'm going to tilt the phone to landscape mode, which is much better for current AR projects. So now we get the scene as it should be. So I'm zooming in, I'm just looking in, keeping my phone on the marker, but then I could take a look at the model, notice that that drone comes in and out, and then I could even look around as well. We've also added a rotate button, so if I click that second button with the rotate arrow, then that should rotate my scene for me, going clockwise. So then I could get different angles of that model of the design as well. The lighting's a bit dark here, so you can go ahead and play with that as well, and just experiment a little bit with your compositions in AR, as well as the lighting and as well with some of the animations, and then be sure to provide us feedback as much as you can, and we'd love to iterate the feature with you. So that's pretty much the mobile preview feature. You can also print out one of these Hyro markers, put it on a table, and then test it from there, and then let your colleagues also kind of visit the same URL and look at the scene in AR and kind of share that experience. So we hope you enjoy it. Hope you get excited for it as much as we are, and then we'll keep going and iterate from there.